Hey YouTube, welcome back to Along for the Ride, and this is not an EV video, it's just an Along for the Ride video, and we're between semesters here. We just got done semester 1, we're moving on to semester 2, and I thought what better time to show you the space that I get to work in every day and teach my students woodworking and construction, because it's nice and clean and ready to go for semester 2. So here we go. So this is actually my teaching room here, and we spin around here, and we head on into the shop. Step number 1 is our safety cupboard. Everything is labeled because they start the semester with a scavenger hunt. And this here is my actual shop space. It's fantastic. It's a great space to work in. I not only have the shop and all this equipment, but we also have this tool room and wood storage space as well. This is what I call the clean room. So this is not a workspace for students. This is simply a space for tools to get stored and wood to get stored. All the action happens out here in the shop. So give you a quick tour here, starting with when we come in the shop. We got this small set of sanders here, finding more and more that these little detail sanders, small belt sanders, are coming in really handy. We've got another set of large sanders over here, a big belt, spindle, and disc sander, as well as a edge sander here that got pretty beat up before it was the end of the semester here, so the belt's got to get changed. Still got to do that yet for semester 2, but we're set up. We got a few scroll saws over here for some of the smaller work. We got our drill presses. Moving on through here, we've got our drum sander, which is actually something that I've really come to enjoy using, and we use quite a bit, as well as our downdraft tables for sanding. This helps keep the dust down a little bit. We got our pack of band saws here, various types, various sizes. We brought this third one in here. This is just a smaller unit just because we had it in the shop, or had it in a different shop, and it's come in handy with the amount of stuff that students are doing. This is my latest build here, a router table. This is fantastic. These two routers used to be in some basic stands, and I've now moved them into this bench, designed this bench. We've got these drawers down here with some dovetail joints, or box joints, sorry, on the end of them, just to kind of help store bits and stuff. So just trying to get organized. Spent a lot of time the last little while getting organized in here and getting things cleaned up. This is our little CNC space over here. We've got a vertical mill that we use for cutting wood and foam. Students learn how to do some programming and the computer that goes along with it. Then we've got, I don't know if you've ever seen these things. I do have a video on these that I'll post here up in the top. You can take a look at. These are what we call a shaper origin. This is a smaller CNC unit that allows you to do a little less programming. A lot of the programming can be done right on here. And this head actually moves as they follow the line and stuff. I was going to show you that, but I turned the power off because the hum was kind of distracting. We've got a single wood lathe here. And we'll come back to what's behind this door in a bit. All right, moving this way. So this is our construction space. We'll come and talk about that in a little bit as well. We've got our 24-inch planer here that comes in real handy, probably bigger than what we need. We do use rough lumber and teach them the whole dressing process. And over there, as we'll get closer, we've got a 12-inch joiner too. So here's an older table saw that I keep strictly for dado use. It's got a really nice dado blade in it that we adjust the size as we need it. But this is strictly a dado saw. And then we have our two saw stops here back to back. I actually saw this configuration at Fanshawe College in London, and I really like it. We don't do a lot of massive cutting, and when we do, it's easy enough to pull the fence and guard off of one machine and allow the sheet to go through here. Forgot that rag was there. But these two work really well like this, just back to back, and allows us to do quite a bit of work on here with the two saws. They take up less space. Here's our miter station for strictly woodworkers. These two machines have finer blades on them, and they get changed every semester, so they're nice and clean. Got some drywall and stuff sitting here. So this line here, this kind of line here, this big open space, is where I do all our construction stuff. So mainly what you're seeing here is our woodworking tools. So this is the big general 12-inch planer. These things are built like a tank. 12-inch jointer, sorry, and they work really, really well. Actually, the planer that we used to have in here was a general as well. This thing is fantastic. It's got a helical head. I also got to do some work on it with the blades, but it's got a helical head in it, which does a really nice job cutting. And then over here we have a small little King 8-inch jointer. When you get a class of 24 students, it's helpful to have 2 machines. So typically what we'll do is we'll line up and they'll face on the big 12-inch machine and then come over here and do their edges on this small machine. So it gets pulled out and set up a little bit differently, but for right now, that's a good spot for it. And then like I said, this big open space here that you've seen Ruby parked in is our construction area where my kids do construction stuff. We got all our framing lumber over here, some small framing lumber, bits and pieces of plywood and stuff. And these are my electrical and plumbing boards that they work through. I don't know if I can do this here and show you. Pull one out. There you go, it's got boxes and stuff on it already, and they'll run wiring through that and do some simple electrical wiring. And the plumbing ones are a pattern for ABS. They'll run the ABS on the board and make sure it starts and stops at the right place and learn how to measure and stuff like that and make sure things are level. So we got a bunch of our material sitting up here. These are the bases I use for a structural project. They're 4x4 floor systems, and then the 2x4s and stuff they use to do the actual construction. So that was a big project, took about 7 weeks to do that. So if we move on from this construction area, the other big area that we use for construction is over here behind this door. Kind of my pride and joy. Not this space, but this is my masonry space. Still working on getting this organized. We've actually been using some training mortar to have students get used to doing mortar and brickwork, and the training mortar actually doesn't, if you keep it in a bucket like this, doesn't get hard. Just gotta add some water. It's just a mixture of sand and lime, so that works really well. But if we go behind this door and take a look, slide in here, let the lights come on. This is our construction tool room. Spent a lot of time getting this organized and things hanging. We got our DeWalt T-stack stuff that has all our sort of project work in here. So if you're doing a little project on electrical, you've got all your equipment and tools right here. Framing, concrete, ABS, so they're all really organized. We just pull them out and students can start doing some plumbing. It's got all they need in there besides these tools here. So you can see that I kind of work on a number of 6. Works really well for the size of the class. We don't have an impact drill for everybody. And then we got our laser system down here. We teach a little bit about layout and laser work outside, doing some leveling. We got our long tapes. Yeah, so this is kind of my fun construction space. You'll notice I've got some miter saws on stand and actually a portable table saw as well. I try and have my construction guys work as if they are working at a job site. So they typically don't use the miter saws that the woodworkers use. They're using these miter saws that are on stand. So that is my construction space, tool room. Got to get something cool put on the door for that. And then if we head upstairs, this is kind of the no-go zone. Haven't got there yet. It kind of gets filled up with all kinds of other stuff. But if we head upstairs, before I show you what's behind me, I'll give you a bird's eye view of the shop space. So there you have it. There's my shop space right there. Pretty fantastic place to work. And then up here, we're working on putting together a little manufacturing space. So trying to just get kids to experience a little bit of metal manufacturing and the manufacturing industry. So we got a few small lathes. We got a small mill, hoping to get another one of these before the end of the year. This drill press still has to get set up here because we're finding that we're doing some drilling and we don't want to mix metal with wood. So that's the idea of putting it up here, is this lets them keep the metal up here away from the wood structure. And then over here, we've got this 3-in-1 bending machine. So for them to do some sheet metal work. It has a cutting shear at the bottom and a brake right here that we can split up, and they do a small little box project. I believe there's one actually in here. Where's the sample? There it is. You can do a small little box project like that just to learn how to lay out sheet metal and use sheet metal, do some different things like that. So the idea behind this is just to let them experience it. Here's one of my students' woodworking projects right here. They're doing a small little, they stained it before the end of the semester, and they're back again this semester doing some more woodworking, so they'll be able to get some clear coat on that as well. So there you have it. There's my workspace that I get to spend my days in teaching construction and woodworking. It's pretty wild. Maybe we'll go take a good close look at the tool room and wood storage area for a minute. So here we got our big clamp rack. It always amazes me when a student comes to me and says, where do I get the clamps? You can't see that big wall over there, even though I introduced it to them. We probably have more clamps than we need, but these are the ones that I kind of kept, were in good condition, and put all together in one area and on this rack. So it ends up working out really well. Just to show you, here's a project that I have for my grade 12 electrical construction guys. They actually go through and understand how to wire branch circuits in a house, different wire gauges, different size of the breakers and stuff that they use. And that's double-sided, so we got 2 of those set up. And they'll go through and wire that as a way of learning some electrical stuff. We got the tools organized over here, still working through which ones we need. We do a lot of battery operated stuff. I got a bunch of drills here that probably could go because we very rarely use them, especially when you get some battery operated ones up here. And I have my fasteners organized as well. Just went through and kind of tidied this up a bit. These are all our material shorts, pine, hardwood, and softwood. And then we got our plywood shorts over here. So we're trying to actually burn through this material. I haven't bought material in a long time. We've got all our tiny little shorts. Again, this is something that will eventually turn into firewood by the end of the year if we don't end up using it, but for now, it's here. The sheet stock right here, that's more about me and what I use in terms of that. Sometimes I'll have students use sheet stock for projects, but not very often. And then this is our wood rack of solid wood. So there's a fair bit sitting on here actually, because we had a bad order come in of maple for a project we were doing for the community. So we're gonna try and burn through that and use it for projects this semester. It's hard maple though, so it's really hard on equipment as well. So that's this part here. This is our clean room. And then behind this door, I don't have my keys on me. We use it sometimes. We've got our laser engravers and our 3D printers and stuff in there that will kind of integrate into woodworking as well. So it's not just about furniture building, it's about all kinds of different manufacturing processes and exposing them to as much as possible. So there you have it, YouTube. That is the shop that I work in. It's all about exposing kids to as much as we can possibly expose them to so that they have a good experience here while they're here. It's not just about custom furniture or custom woodworking. We'll integrate some metal into that, do some laser engraving and cutting. It's really about exposing them to all the equipment we have here and giving them as much experience as possible while they're here for their high school years. If you got some comments you want to leave about maybe what we should add to the wood shop or take away from the wood shop, let me know. Put them in the comments below. And if you can figure out what this shirt is all about, throw them in the comments below as well. You got to be a local guy to understand them, or maybe just a music lover. Anyways, this is Greg Sinti for Along for the Ride, not EV. Thanks for joining me, and there's the tour of my wood shop and my workspace.